Hi, welcome back. The Headbangers Ball is coming to you from Prague, and we're backstage now, and I'm joined by Slash from Headliners, Guns N' Roses. Yes, it's a Guns N' Roses edition of Headbangers Ball. Hi Slash, nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you in the gym, you know. You're working a workout later,
How
right?
are you doing?
I'm doing fine. I'm trying to adjust to like all these time changes, and like I maintain the same schedule. I get up in the morning and then I stay up all day, and then at night I go out. And when you keep going through all these time changes, an hour difference here, 3 hours difference there, you know, all of a sudden around 3 o'clock you just pass out. You just lose it, and you're trying to figure out why. Your whole body shuts down. Anyway, so it's been fun. It's been interesting.
Now you played Slane Castle in Dublin last weekend, and that sounded like, I wasn't there, I have to say, but it sounded like it was a pretty special gig. Tell us a little bit about it.
It was the first show of the European thing, and we'd been off for a month, and I'd been out jamming around, like doing the Motorhead thing and all this other stuff, but we hadn't, as a band, played together for a month, so it was a matter of getting that chemistry in order. So I think the first couple songs probably sounded like mud, and it tightened up towards the end. Then they give us 3 days off, and so we have to do it all over again today in Prague, you know.
But it was a beautiful setting, wasn't it?
It was
and
gorgeous,
a couple of you guys wore green because it was Ireland.
No.
Oh? That's what it said in the press release.
Well, that's what they always say something.
Now, how much say did you guys have in choosing the support bands on your tour?
We always pick our support bands, you know, bands that we think are cool. Soundgarden, Faith, you know, 2 bands that we always listen to. So.
Now, I agree. Now, the show started a little late in Dublin, I believe, and Axl.
Just about 20 minutes. It wasn't that big a deal. I mean, come on, they had us on at 6:45. It's a stretch of the imagination, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I mean, I completely understand why Axl, you know, needs time to get himself psyched up. He wants to give the best possible performance.
Everybody, you know, in order to prepare for going all out for, you know, 2.5 to 3 hours, whatever the show is, you got to feel like you're in the right headspace to do it, you know. And that's why we sit around and we hang out with each other. We have a few drinks. We like cool down and relax, because we work out really hard and we give everything we can to every show, as opposed to going out and like faking it for 2 hours and just, you know, going through the motions, which a lot of bands do. So I feel pretty justified in taking the time to do it right.
Do you find it a little off-putting not knowing yourself exactly when you're going to be taking to the stage?
Well, I keep in touch with everything that's going on with us, you know, as far as where we're going, what time we're supposed to get there, you know, the whole schedule thing. And because we've been together for so long, I sort of, there is a predictability about it, you know. So it's not a big deal.
Could you give us a little insight into what it's like a typical day on the road with Guns N' Roses?
Well, you know, being in Eastern Europe it's not a typical day, you know. But usually we wake up at some time like around. I wake up early, you know. Everybody else tries to sleep as long as they can. And hang around, do interviews or band business, maybe go to a museum or something, and then try and find the best places to go hang out at night and stay out till about 4 or 5 or 6, and then get up and do it again the next day. And then when there's a show day, you know, we get these sheets of paper. They're sort of cute, you know. They come in and go 3 o'clock, wake up, and you know, you sort of try to abide by those, and like at the last minute you jump in the shower and you split, go to the gig and hang out, and every gig's different, so there isn't a typical day. Right. Yeah.
Okay, well, we've got some music coming up now on Headbangers Ball, and we're going to see Knockin' on Heaven's Door, that was recorded at the Freddie Mercury tribute concert. Did you the whole thing? But I just
that pissed me off when Fox did that. They like cut out half the stuff we did.
Did you have a really good time there? I bet you did.
It was, you know, the vibe was great, and it was really great to find out that all those tickets were sold without knowing what the bill was. So it was really for the cause, which was really important, because I think rock and roll has just now learned that it's a heavy-duty issue. I think everybody was trying to ignore it for a long time and think, well, it could never happen to us and all that. And it was nice to see all that support, and even though it was a result of something as tragic as Freddie dying. It was still good to see everybody come together and all that. The whole like pop, pop music social scene was a little heavy for me, so I didn't want to be there unless we were playing. The rest of it to me seemed like a little bit like who's who of rock and roll and hi and let's take pictures and all that kind of crap. But it was the show was fun. The crowd was great. So.
Okay, well, we're going to see that video that was shot at Freddie Mercury tribute concert. This is the full, unedited version of Guns N' Roses' Knockin' on Heaven's Door. As you can see, Slash is still with me on Headbangers Ball. We're backstage at Prague Stadium. And in the last segment, we were talking a little bit. I asked you about a typical day on tour with Guns N' Roses. When you're on tour, is it kind of like living in a rather unreal world, in as much as you're shielded from a lot of the outside world and reality?
I think I might look at it differently. This is me individually, how I see it. Everybody has their own different concept of what being on the road is. I happen to dig it, so to the point where I don't know if I have a real sense of reality. I like to always be detached, which being on the road for me is heaven. And when I come home off a tour, I don't exactly know what to do with myself, so I just put myself in a hotel and pretend I'm still on the road or something. So I'm into it, and it doesn't tire me out or anything like that. Everybody else might say something different, yeah.
But when there are like huge world events going on, like the riots in LA or something, do you think, oh my God, that's my home kind of thing?
Well, the LA thing was very heavy, I thought. I thought the whole decision, for one, the decision that was made was really irresponsible. And then I thought that the reaction was really irresponsible. I thought the whole thing was just a huge mess. I think it gave a lot of people an excuse to do what they did, and I'm hoping the verdict changes at some point, or they do figure out some way of reconciling, because otherwise there's absolutely no respect for law enforcement in Los Angeles right now, and it's spreading all over it's like in little places. It spreads from LA then it went to Beverly Hills, it went to the Valley, and then it starts to go to different countries because they see they can do it, we can do it, and so on. A lot of the other stuff that goes down, the stuff that's going on in Thailand, you have to be aware of, and especially when you're in these third world countries. All you have is CNN, so you just sit there staring at it going, Jesus Christ, it's getting hectic out there. But as a rock and roll band, we're not really that politically conscious, because it's a whole environment unto ourselves that we travel around in, and you don't always have things to say about what's going on in the rest of the world, because that's hectic anyway, and you're just trying to get on with just doing what you do.
I mean, you said that you find it difficult to adjust when you're off tour. Can you ever envisage?
Then you're forced into like home life, this mundane kind of existence, which I'm just not into. The pace is too slow, and being that the band, as much as I hate to admit it, has gotten to a certain kind of popularity status. You can't hang out in the bars you usually hang out with it without people watching you and talking about what you did and hearing rumors coming back, and you can't maintain a relationship. I mean, all that stuff. So you just don't want to be around it at all. You'd rather just stay on the road because you can relate to that. Yeah.
But what about your snakes?
What about them?
If you're not at home very much.
Well, I got two friends of mine, Jim and Larry, and they take care of all my stuff, and I check in with them and find out what's going on, and if everything's cool. And there's a lot of animals there to maintain, and they do a really good job, so I don't worry too much. And I go pop by the house every so often, make sure everything's doing well. Yeah.
What do you find most difficult to deal with in terms of your success? What are the most difficult aspects?
I think probably lately it really occurred to me that I didn't have any privacy in the last couple of months. I really tried to maintain that, like, I'm a guitar player, so I can slip in and out of places without anybody noticing. And all of a sudden it hit me really abruptly that it wasn't like that. And everything I'd done for the last year or so, all of a sudden it was big rumors and this and that. And that was a drag, and it screwed up the relationship that I had at the time. which I'm trying to like rework, you know, and stuff. And I think the fact that I can't just walk up and down the street or going to this pub or going to this club or whatever, you know, and that's changed, and I have to be aware of myself now. That's the biggest hardship. The rest of it's great. I mean, the 3 hours that we play on stage makes it worthwhile, so you try not to bitch about it too much, you know. But it has its moments where it gets to be like, I can't believe people are writing this, it's not true, and people's perceptions of what you're all about are completely distorted because they're being fed all this bullshit, you know.
Yeah, that must be really irritating. Okay, well, we'll talk some more later on. We've got some more music now on Headbangers Ball. This is a band making their debut on the show. Former Iron Maiden vocalist Paul Di'Anno has got a new band together. Yeah? Good. He's got a new band together called Killers. They've got a debut album out called Murder One. I think that is. Let me just check. Yes, it is. And the first video is a cover of the Mark Bolan classic. And it's a blistering cover version of Children of the Revolution. Here it comes for you now. Hi, welcome back to Headbangers Ball. We're backstage on the Guns N' Roses tour in Prague, and right now I'm joined by Duff.
Hello.
Welcome to Headbangers Ball for the first time, I might say.
Thank you.
Thanks for taking time out to speak to us.
No
Now, over the Use Your Illusion tours, you've kind of expanded your live show. You've added the horn section and female backing singers. Is it kind of like an ongoing...
New guitar player.
New guitar player, of course.
Yeah.
Is it kind of like an ongoing, evolving project?
Well, no, it's something that we've always wanted to do. The simple reason being that most bands, well, on the records, we do use horns, we do use backup vocals. Now, a usual band would go out and just use tapes and press a button and have, you know, and we're not into that at all. So that's a simple reason for us having horns and backup vocals, and that's that. I mean, it's just as simple as that.
Okay. Now, when you guys are on tour, I would imagine that it can get very stressful at times. How do you give each other space and, you know, have your own privacy?
We don't.
I mean, do you go out a lot together and stuff?
Yeah, we go out almost every night together. Really. Really, I mean, we don't. Ourselves are the ones who give each other. I know what you're saying, like the pressure and all that on tour. The only people that relieve the pressure are ourselves. It's like we call each other at night, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Let's do this, let's do that. And we always go out together, you know, because we're our own best friends, you know, so that's that.
Now, I know Axl was very upset when Izzy left the band. I mean, how did you feel when you heard?
Well, I was the first one he called, actually. I couldn't blame him, you know, that's kind of a touchy subject, right? Okay. But I couldn't blame him because I know how Izzy is. He didn't, I mean, he wanted us just to do a club tour for these two albums. And I'm like, Izzy, we can't just do a club tour, man. We're gonna have to do something bigger than a club tour. He doesn't like, you know, and I can't say that any of us really like being put under a, you know, a microscope at all times, you know. Yeah. It's not cool, you know. But you have to do certain things to let your musical outlet flow, I guess is probably the right way to say it. Yeah.
Gilby, he fits right in, doesn't he?
Perfectly. Thank God. Thank God.
Now, how have the relationships between you, Slash, and Axl changed over the years? Have they changed?
They've strengthened, if anything. You know, we've been through hell and high water together. You know, you pointed the three of us out, of course, because we're the original members. Right. We've been through a lot together. You know, we've grown mentally. You know, we have to go through business stuff and law shit, you know, law stuff, excuse me. And we've been through all this together, and so we know each other like the back of our hands, you know.
So it's a real kind of inner strength then, because you know each other so
Definitely. Oh, big time. Yeah. To say the least.
What has most surprised you about success? Is it the way people react to you as a person?
Well, see, success to me is there's one way people decipher success, and there's a way I decipher it. And people look at success as money and flying in planes and this and that. To me, I mean, I could take or leave that. Seriously. To me, success is getting the music out that comes from our hearts and parlaying it to a huge crowd, or a bunch of people buying the records. If it were up to me, I'd give the records out for free, and the tickets out for free for that matter. But it does take a certain amount of money to run the show, so
Absolutely.
we usually end up losing money every night, any given night. Seriously.
Okay. Will you stay with me, because we're going to talk some more after the next couple of videos, and actually right now we're going to see the brand new video from Testament. They have a new album out called The Ritual. Check it out, and this is the debut single off that, and it's called Electric Crown. Duff is still with me on the Headbangers Ball from Prague, and just before the video there we were talking about success. What do you see as the biggest success of Guns' career so far?
Well, obviously for us to be playing in front of huge crowds like this, I mean, if somebody would have told me this when I was, 18, which really wasn't that long ago, I would, success is a weird word to me, for what it all means really confuses me. So I'm just happy to be playing in front of a lot of people and making them happy. I hope that they're happy. Well, sometimes they aren't, but no. I'm just happy to be out here and playing, and that's what success to me is.
Is there anything else that you feel that you've got left to achieve that the band would really like to achieve?
Absolutely. We've only just begun, really, we've only just begun. We've only have, what do we have? 4 records out, We're still babies, We've got a lot to achieve, and we will achieve it.
Now you've been working on a solo project, haven't you? Could you tell us a little bit about that? Aha.
How did you know this? Well, I grew up playing drums and playing guitar. I was really never a bass player until this band. So I've always wanted to. I have like a little home recording studio at home, and I had like 45 songs written, right? And so I was afforded the opportunity by Geffen they gave me a contract to record. And so I went into A&M Studios in Los Angeles and Conway, and some place in Dallas and a place in London and New York and Seattle, San Francisco. While we were on the road, I was recording, right? Did my thing, and I had a couple guest people. Lenny Kravitz sang on one song, and Sebastian sang on one song, and Snake played guitar on a song from Skid Row. And but
what kind of stuff is it?
It's everything. I mean, it's just rock and roll. It's like, I mean, there's some bluesy stuff, and my brother played horns and some stuff, and it's different. I mean, it's not mainstream at all, but it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna tour on it right when we get done with Metallica touring with us this summer.
Did you find that doing that gave you kept you kind of fresh for Guns, that you were able to go off and do something of your own kind of thing?
No, it almost killed me. Didn't keep me fresh or anything. No, yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it gave me a whole different perspective on everything, you know, because I hadn't played drums for a long time, so it gave me a refreshing attitude on where Matt was coming from as a drummer, and I hadn't played guitar for a long time, so it gave me a refreshing attitude on where Slash was coming from. So it really kind of helped me out as far as making the band plan. You know, I'll shut up.
No, we like exclusives here on the Headbangers Ball. Are you able to tell us what your album might be called?
Yeah, it's called Believe in Me.
Thank you very much. Okay, well, we're going to see some more music now on Headbangers Ball, and this is actually one of my favourite Guns N' Roses tracks of all time, From Appetite for Destruction. It's a really classic song. You know what it is, Sweet Child of Mine. Slash is back with me on Headbangers Ball from Prague. We were talking to Duff a little earlier on actually about the success of the band, and I'd like to ask you the same question that I asked him. How has success changed you as a person, do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I really try to hold fast to what the ideals that we started with. So we're all like in this big struggle to maintain this certain ideological, what's the best word for it? Like ideals that we started out with, and not let success affect us, you know. And in a way, it does. You have to deal with being recognized at a record store, and you're just trying to pick up some CDs, and all these people come up. You're driving in your car, and people come by screaming and yelling at you. But as far as the monetary aspect of it, it's nice to be able to order room service and not have to worry about it and make long-distance phone calls. And, you know, I'm not much of a shopper, so it's just not really a big deal about clothes. So my general attitude hasn't changed that much, but I don't have to bum, like, money off of girls to get booze and stuff. You know?
That's how it was in the early days, wasn't it?
I mean, that's how we lived for a long time. It's just like, and they were all still good friends of ours, these girls that we used to hang out with. But that's basically the only difference is that we're a little bit more comfortable and we don't have to struggle as hard. But as far as, you know, getting on stage and stuff, it's like all these people see us as being this huge band that sells all these records, and we're looking at each other trying to remember the parts, you know, and trying to keep the general vibe happening. So it's a definite world unto ourselves that we're in. And a sort of rock and roll integrity that we're trying to maintain, and we won't sell out, we won't conform, you know. So it feels real to us, although it looks completely like fantastical to everybody else looking at it. Yeah.
Now you've also found somehow, I don't know how you did it, but you found time to take some time out and do some kind of solo work. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the thing you've been working on?
Let's see. I just did a couple songs with Motorhead, which was great. I've still got a Michael Jackson thing coming up where I'm doing a video with him.
Can you tell us more about the Motorhead thing? What was that all about?
There's two songs, and I haven't listened to them in a while. I forgot the name of the first one, but the second one I did was called I Ain't No Nice Guy, and it's a classic song, and it gave me chills. It's you know, sort of rare to go into somebody else's session and get chills from their song, you know. So you know, it's going to be on their new record. That's as much as I can really say about it. I played on Carole King's new, what she's working on. Did the jazz festival with her, and I've got a Stevie Wonder thing coming up, I hope. They said they wanted to do it. So I've just been, you know, busy.
Absolutely. Do you find that doing those kind of side things helps keep you fresh for what's happening with Guns N' Roses?
I really never gave it that much thought. It keeps me active, it keeps my chops up, and I'm real inspired when you play with other people in their environment. You know, it makes you a better player. And as far as Guns N' Roses goes, there's no real similarity. You know, we do what we do. When I do something on the side, it's their thing, you know? So it's just me going in trying to adapt to their situation.
And you've got another little band on the side called the Drunk Fucks? Now
So we can say that.
Who's in that band? Tell us more about it.
Well, it's not really a band anymore. It was just a bunch of friends. It was Wes Arkeen, Duff, a guy named Todd that's no longer around. Which was pretty much the reason why Drunk Fucks isn't around anymore, because he passed away. And he was one of the really main members. There was Del James, who's a really good friend of ours that sang, and I.
Because Wes and Del contributed some songwriting to Use Your Illusion, right?
So it was a band that we just went out with this sort of like, juvenile attitude of just, we'll go out and we'll play some songs, we won't rehearse, and we'll book a gig in a club and we'll just hang out. And I never made one gig myself. I would always be passed out on a road case in the back somewhere. That was like the whole like little touch of Drunk Fucks that I had.
That was your contribution to live up to the name.
We had a great logo. We had some T-shirts made, and that was cool. We won't be recording soon, okay?
Now you've got a camera crew out on the road with you at the moment. They seem to be like following you around everywhere. What's that in aid of?
Because we're going to do a documentary, and so it's just footage of what goes on. It's going to be like Christmas at the end of this whole thing, going through, trying to edit all this stuff together and remembering some of the stuff that has gone on, because it's been pretty wild.
So is it going to be like In Bed with Madonna? Are you going to show everything?
I think a lot of stuff is going to stay in the vaults.
All right, well, actually, as we are reaching the end of the show, I want to talk to you about the forthcoming Metallica Guns tour stateside. I guess you must be really looking forward to that.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's one of the things that we were talking about that was really important, was trying to bring back that great stadium tour from the 70s where they had all these great bands, because after a while it was just like the headlining band and the opening band didn't really matter. Now it's like co-headlining. It's two really heavy bands, and Faith No More is opening, so it's going to be a big event. It's going to be an all-day thing. So bring us a sack lunch and a blanket.
Now, what are the live similarities, if any, between Guns and Metallica?
I think musically there isn't really any kind of similarities, but attitude-wise, there's a lot, and it's one of the reasons we wanted to do it together, because we've gotten really far away from conforming to the industry and doing things our own way, and we've been successful at it. And I think we've opened a lot of doors. Both bands have opened a lot of doors for other bands, and to open up the attitudes of some of these, very stiff, white-collar executive types over at the record companies, and let them know that this commercial attitude that they've got isn't necessarily the way to go, and there is other things happening. And it definitely works. So we have that similarity, and plus we're just good friends.
Will it be like a co-headline situation?
Yeah, totally. It's totally equal.
And people will have to get there early, because you both play like 3 hours or...
Faith No More, Metallica and us, and Metallica plays for 3 hours. We play for 3 hours. Faith will probably play for an hour, maybe an hour and a half, I'm not really sure. So it's definitely something to get there early for.
What about the two stages? They have the diamond-shaped stage.
Come to an agreement as far as the stage goes, which is a little bit of a secret at this point. We're trying to keep some things secret,
And do you think that, we just live in hope that maybe this tour might come to Europe?
I don't know, because we're doing our European thing now, and Metallica, if they haven't done it already, it's gotten to that point where we're just going to probably do it in the States and leave it at that, because we've still got other stuff to do after the States.
Okay, well, that's it for now. Actually, that's it for the show as far as Slash is concerned. He's out of here, but thank you very much for taking time out to talk to me. It's very nice to see you again, and good luck with the rest of the tour. that brilliant live performance from Guns N' Roses just about wraps up this special edition of Headbangers Ball from Prague. And I'd just like to say a very big thank you to all the bands, Soundgarden, Faith No More, and of course Guns N' Roses. They've all been absolutely brilliant with us, and I've had a really good day. I hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I've enjoyed being here. And before I go, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about what's coming up on Headbangers Ball next Sunday. We are going to have an entire edition of the show dedicated to the Gods of Thunder, Kiss. Yes, it's going to be a truly Kiss-tastic edition with live performances, interviews, and also all the action taking place at the Kiss convention in London. So I hope you'll join me there. But for now, this is Vanessa Warwick signing off from Prague. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.